Hello, loves. I want to talk about the last episode because I know it ruffled feathers. It triggered some people. People got angry. So I don't want to explain, but let me just qualify my work. My work is to teach people to be more conscious of areas of their life where they're living unconsciously and that might be affecting them in a negative way. And part of that is hidden contracts, whether that be age, whether that be status, whether that be alcoholic codependent, whether that be someone that has OCD and someone who has avoidant personality disorder. It doesn't really matter what the issue is. If you are in a relationship unconsciously and you're considering it love, when actually, if you looked closer, it may just be an agreement, an unconscious agreement you have with someone. So, of course, my episode last week was going to trigger people. I realized that. And because of my work, triggers happen, and triggers can be a gift. That's what I coach. There's a reason why we get triggered. It's an opportunity for us to look inside of ourselves and find where we're living unconsciously. And my work is not for everyone. I do realize that. So with that said, let's move on to the topic for today. Let's talk about when someone minimizes or diminishes the reasons why you left a man and you feel hurt or you feel depressed because they don't understand why you left, and they make you out to be the overreactive one, or the princess, or the one that has too high a standards. So just look at that for a second. I'm sure we've all went through that. Oh, it wasn't that bad. But he was a good man. Sometimes we just have to put up with some of the things men do because they're just men. And I've heard all of those throughout my life. And it does hurt. And it never changed the reasons why I left or that I was done with the relationship when I left. Because I always leave a relationship when I am certain. And no one else has to agree with why I left. And that's part of self-love and self-respect. Women who don't have high standards, who are not loving themselves and not respecting themselves and are desperate for a relationship and will tolerate behavior in order to have a man, are going to do that. And that's a given. It's not healthy to go backwards and start overlooking red flags and tolerating disrespectful behavior just because someone else thinks you overreacted. Part of the problem with dating right now currently, and why so many women are giving up on dating, is because of this very thing. There are so many men that think women are overreactive and being princesses and all of the descriptive terms that they use for women who are honestly just loving and respecting themselves. But women are becoming more and more aware, conscious, and empowered. And they're not putting up with this low standard type relationships anymore because they realize that their inner peace and their freedom is far more important. And so they're going to be women who are going to stab you in the back, who are going to talk behind your back, who are going to make you out to be this horrible woman that treated this good man so poorly when you know for a fact he is not a good man. And you see it in the dating groups where women do that. They're all about making the guy feel really good about himself and talking down any woman that doesn't agree with them. But if you're an evolving, changing, growing woman who's becoming more and more conscious and wants a better life for herself, those are the women that you should ignore. And it might be hard sometimes. Some of them might be your friends. And you just might have to have boundaries around it, or you might have to find a way to communicate how you feel about the fact that it isn't their decision, it was yours. And you decided no, you didn't want to be with him. And that you're certain of the reasons why you decided no, not to be with him. And it's not up for discussion. And I've actually had to tell women before, you're welcome to go give it a try. And I honestly meant it. I honestly meant it. If that's the kind of behavior that they find tolerable and that wouldn't bother them, absolutely, go for it. That doesn't mean that I'm going to change the way I feel. And so this is why less information is sometimes better, to just not tell people why you broke up, but know deep inside why you did. I dated a guy once, and I thought, wow, this is great. He might be my long-term guy. On paper it looks so amazing. And he actually went to therapy. So I was just all over that. But I started even overlooking the red flags on the first date, because I was just in a place where I felt that we could work through whatever come up, because he's going to therapy, I'm going to therapy, we're both into personal growth. But I was wrong. My personal growth had been decades of personal growth. His had just only started, and we were vastly different in that area. And the minimizing of my feelings and not even asking me how I felt and wanting to do things his way and how he ate and not asking me simple things. Well, how was it for you? We were talking about water skiing. And I asked if he'd ever water skied. And I listened for 40 minutes. But there was never well, what about you? Have you ever skied? So a conscious person is going to notice the one-sided conversations. A self-respecting woman is going to notice that when her shoulder pops out of joint, and it's quite painful when that happens, and she has to push it back in by herself, and how painful that is. And he asked what it is, and she said, I had to pop my shoulder back in. It's hurting. And he acts as if she said nothing and just keeps on going. Those are the kinds of things that most women overlook. He didn't think it was a big deal because my shoulder popped out. That's a huge deal. And if somebody told me that their shoulder popped out of joint and they had to pop it back in, I would have said, oh my God, are you okay? Is there anything you need? Would you like me to massage it? Are you in pain? Do you need Tylenol? There's all kinds of questions that I would ask someone if I was in a relationship with them and they told me their shoulder joint popped out. And if that wasn't enough, then there was being rude and really arrogant to the waiter, who made no mistake at all, but was blamed for something that he didn't do. And just an arrogant comment of, we'll get it right first time. But wait, I don't talk to people that way. Even if he did get it wrong, I wouldn't say something like that. People make human mistakes. And though someone else is not going to agree to why I broke up with him, I mean, later in the week, I found out he was live on Bumble, and that was like the straw. But even before the Bumble, I had enough reason to leave the relationship because I wasn't being regarded as valued as a partner. I was a placeholder to him. And though it looked good on paper, and we had fun and laughed when we hung out and went on dates, that isn't what holds a relationship together. It's mutual empathy, mutual compassion, mutual curiosity. And it's not going live on Bumble when you're in an exclusive monogamous relationship, even for a few hours. That's what that is. And so, yes, women minimized it. Men minimized it. And it didn't matter to me. I was very clear I did not want to be in a relationship with this man. And when I walked off for good. And I don't turn back. Because I respect myself. And he showed me who he is. And I'm going to believe that. So yes, I had to put up with all of the chatter about my reasons. And a lot of women put up with a lot of other women, especially, giving them a hard time about why they broke up. And it's important for you to hold your head high, respect yourself enough to not listen to it, and keep looking for what it is you desire in a relationship. And if a conscious, awake, emotionally fulfilling relationship is what you're looking for, then don't settle for less. And sure, you may have to wait longer than other people to be in a relationship because there are a lot of people that settle. And there are a lot of women that will go for that guy and have gone for that guy that I broke up with. And that's fine. But I'm resolved within myself that I'm happier when I love myself enough to not tolerate that kind of behavior. So pay attention to the red flags. And you don't even have to wait weeks like I did back then. You can walk away the first time you see a really big red flag, and that's okay. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you overreactive. It doesn't make you a princess. It doesn't make you anything other than very aware of a red flag. I've had to work on this myself, not caring what anybody thinks. But empowered women, and I'm certain that you've seen empowered women before, they make their choice, they walk off, and they hold their head up, and they don't look back. So think about that this week. How you might feel that you have to justify why you broke up with someone. And how you might feel small when they minimize the reasons why you did. And you really don't owe anybody an explanation. It just didn't work. And think about ways that you can have your own back in those situations, even when no one else does. That's all the time we have for today. I hope that was helpful. Until next time, stay conscious, pay attention, and if you don't, notice.